Hey everyone, and welcome to another edition of my live tea tasting. I've got a really exciting blend today. It's something that I've been looking forward to do. I've had a bit of a sample, but from the taste of it, I haven't had enough. So I'm going to go ahead and start tonight's flavor with a bang. I'm really excited about this one. It's maple cream oolong. I don't do oolongs very often on the stream, but this one is very much worth it. So, without further ado, I'm going to get started, because this is going to be so awesome. I see 2 people have already tuned in. It doesn't say which names yet, but welcome, you guys. Hey, Ani, welcome. Oh, 3 people. Okay, I don't know who the 3rd person is. Hey, Teresa, welcome. Hey, Ma, welcome. Okay, now I do know who the 3 people are. Anyway... Hey, Allie, welcome. You're here, and that makes 4. That's so weird. It's only telling me 3 people are there. Anyway, thank you guys for starting me out right. So tonight's flavor is maple cream oolong, and this is going to be an amazing blend. I've had a sample of it, and it's awesome. So I'm gonna go ahead and start I already started the water. I guess I did it while I was greeting everybody. But now it's since it's an oolong, it's kind of in between a black and a green tea. It's more towards. Hey, Greg, welcome. It's more towards the black end. Well, depending on how it's developed, but this one. It's amazing. It's not as heavy as a regular black tea, but it's got the same properties. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this party started, because I am ready, willing, and able to get this thing going. Okay. Ooh boy. Oh, I just opened this thing, and right off the bat, it smells like maple syrup. Like, it is strong. Oh, what is the pancakes? I need pancakes. Oh, that's so good. It's like opening a bottle of not Mrs. Butterworth. I can't remember. Aunt Jemima. That was the one I was thinking about. Well, both of them are syrups. But it's like opening up the bottle straight up delicious. I am dying to start this. Now, whoop. I set this thing down right on the wire, and it was starting to move off to the side. Anyway, yo, pancakes. I ain't joking, man. This stuff is strong. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour some of this out. You know I like my tea strong. There. Oh, that's a little too much. I have issues with portion control. You guys already know. There we go. Because I love this stuff. Alright, so I'm going to show you guys what this looks like. Yes, Allie, please do. And the bacon and the sausage and the works. Bring the works. Okay, so right off the bat, you see it's a really pretty dark tea. There's a little bit of orange, a tiny bit of red. I'm trying to get some good light here. There we go. Yeah, so you see that it's not a very colorful tea, but the color that does show up, it does pop. You see the reds, I believe that's red safflower, apple pieces, it's got the oolong in it, and I'm assuming it's cinnamon bark. Let me see if I can remember. I think that's like most of the ingredients. Let me pull that up. Okay, so we got oolong tea, of course, apple pieces, cinnamon bark, maple flavoring, cardamom, natural cream flavors, and cloves. Oh, and the safflower, as I mentioned before. So it's going to be a very sweet tea, but as usual, I went ahead and, hey, Shanna, welcome! I went ahead and pre-sweetened my pot, so I have it all, I have it all set up and ready to go. Once my water's boiled, we're good. We're gonna start the tasting. Now, I've gone ahead and boiled this to 212 degrees. It's going to be steeping for about 5 minutes. Because it's a black tea, we don't want to oversteep it. And this one, I don't want to ruin it. I know sometimes I accidentally go over. I haven't overdone it yet on any stream, but, you know, knock on wood. I don't have any wood available, but if I did, I'd be knocking on it. But I'm so excited to get this thing started. I don't want to ruin it by oversteeping. So you guys, cheer me on. Water sounds like it's almost ready to pop. Yeah, everything is bubbling and it's starting to steam. Welcome number 7. I don't know. Oh, hey, welcome Michelle. You didn't pop up there, but I recognized your profile that pops up right before you hit like. So anyway, he wishes he loved anything in life as much as you love tea. Well, one day he'll find his passion. have him try tea. It's a good way to find out that perfect passion. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and pour this out. Oh, I just realized. Out of habit, sorry, I forgot to show you how much of the tea I put in, so that you could monitor how much it grows or expands. I'm still working on that. Patrick, welcome. I'm I'm still trying to work that in. As you know, I got a little bit excited, and I just put it right up in there. I'm like, I'm ready to go. Anna, welcome. So anyway, started at 8:08, so in about 5 minutes, we're gonna get this party started. Once again, I don't know why I'm saying that so much today. Hey, I'm waving back. It's been a while. I haven't seen you in a bit. So anyway, since this is an oolong tea, oolongs are they're processed, so in between the red, the black and the green, as I mentioned before, they aren't quite black and they aren't quite green, and it gives it a more interesting flavor because it's a party, and yeah, it's absolutely been so long. It's not quite a black tea, so you don't have the strong earthy flavor of a black tea, but you also don't have the grassy, greeny flavor of a green tea. So it's sort of in the middle. Normally it has a lighter taste, but it's really excellent. Like, I love oolong teas, and I drink them on my own. I just haven't featured them very often here. But while I have it available, this is basically a brand new flavor that Adagio has put out, and let me tell you, it does not disappoint. So let me see, it's 8:09. I'm already counting down, because that smell, it's getting to me. Like that smell, it's like you know breakfast is coming. That's where I'm at right now. It's just wafting all over the room, and it's filling up the entire place, and it's like this is what you should smell first thing in the morning, you know? Like, you wake up and you don't even care about nothing else. You're not even worried about brushing your teeth. You just smell breakfast and you want to eat. And that's exactly what I'm going for here. Because it's like my entire room smells like syrup. And it's like, this is what it must be like to wake up in Canada. I swear I've never been to Canada. I haven't been there yet. Maybe one day I'll go and find out that it doesn't smell like syrup, and I will be thoroughly disappointed. But until that day happens, I want to smell this like always. There was actually one time I bought a plug-in, and it was for Cinnabon, and my room smelled like Cinnabon for a month. And let me tell you, it was not... It was not disappointing. Was that you asked for? Okay, so you and Teresa are talking. Okay, I'm like reading the comments, like, what are you talking about? But yeah, you guys are conversing. Never mind. So anyway, looks like we got 2 more minutes to go until I'm ready to pull this thing out. And let me tell you, those 2 minutes cannot pass fast enough, because this is just like, oh, it's heaven. And the pre-sweetened pot is only going to add to the syrupy flavor of it. Like I'm dying here. Now there is another one that was I don't think I've done this one, the berry cream compote. That I usually make as an iced tea, but the cream that they use on there is extremely creamy and extremely it mixes well with the fruit. So I'm expecting that kind of level of cream on this one, because the creaminess texture and the milky flavor of it is going to be awesome when paired with the maple. What was it? So I want a maple scented candle. That would actually be a good idea. I don't burn candles very often, at least not for the scent. I have the plugins for that. But what I do is it's usually to keep my my tea warm in my warmer. What is this dark magic I speak of? What dark magic are you talking about? The plugin or the? I'm assuming you're talking about the plugin that smells like Cinnabon, because that is a thing. And yeah, it comes out. It's actually should be. Oh, the berry. Oh, hey Carmen, welcome. The berry cream compote usually comes out around the summer. It might have been out when we had our first tea tasting. That was the time to get it. It might still be around, but I haven't seen it in a while. I don't recall anyway. So time is up. I'm gonna go ahead and pull the net out. I brain farted, and I didn't hide it well either. I'm like, ah. But anyway, there we go. So, oh my god, even from here, look at how far this thing is from me. It's all the way just within reach, and I smell the syrup like it's really, really strong. Woof, I am dying to pour this thing out. So, I'm gonna go ahead, put it over here, and I get my syrupy dreams. I almost forgot. I'm using the cast iron, and it gets hot. So, ooh! Wow, now check out that brown color. It's almost bronze. Oh, it smells amazing. I love it. Almost, it's bronze and almost golden. I don't know if it looks like that to you guys, because the camera doesn't always show the colors as they appear. Not the infuser. That's the word I was looking for. The infuser. Also, you took the tea to work. That's awesome. You know me, I always take my my teas to work, as long as it's not like really super good and I don't want to share it. But that's a rare occasion. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys what it looks like. Do I have another pot? I have my other porcelain black pot, if that's the one that you're talking about. I still have, it's about yay big, which you happen to know how big my hands are, but nobody else might. But yeah, it's about yay big. That's the one that I used to use when I first started the stream, but then I bought the I bought the cast iron one, and I love it. Like, I use that straight up for the streaming. Oh, darn it, I forgot to I forgot to mix. See, I'm so excited. I forgot to mix in the sugar. Doggone it! You know, I'm always excited to do that when I forget to mix the sugar. I'm like, I can't pass it up. Why did I choose the cast iron pot? I'm gonna say it straight out because it's beautiful. Like, I'm gonna be totally shallow on this, but the pot itself is just really well designed, really, really beautiful. So I picked it out, really antique looking. I mean, it's not antique, but here, I'll show you guys. Yeah, pull out a bit. You see, it's got, like, I love the gooseneck. The porcelain teapot has a spout, but it doesn't have much of a gooseneck. You see the way it curves up and out, like a little letter S, and then you have the I don't know what this is called on the handle. I'm sure it's got a name, but it helps while you're pouring it because it's so heavy that it helps keep it from slipping. So you put your thumb right up here, and it gives you a better grip. I mean, this thing, not only is it hot, but it's heavy. Like, when I hold it, I have to use two hands sometimes to hold it in place because that can easily, when it's full, that can easily get out of control. But it's time. Time to bring out T-Rex. Ah, T-Rex. Here we go. Oh, yes. Oh, that is so good. You taste... I don't know if it's just the way that I steeped it, but there's two distinct flavors. Like, you get first the maple, and then you get the oolong, which is kind of unique. Might be because I didn't stir the sugar around. That might have hidden it a little bit, but I'm glad that I get to taste those two distinct flavors because it kind of tastes like two separate teas. That is amazing. Yeah, it does have the maple brown sugar oatmeal, and that in itself is kind of explanatory when you have the maple and the brown sugar and then the earthiness of the oatmeal. It's kind of like polar opposites because you have the sweetness and then the earthy groundness. When you mix it all together, you can taste it very well. I think this tea separates it a little bit. The maple and the oolong have like I don't know how to explain it, but there's like a bit of a space in between them, and I find it really interesting because that makes it, you can taste distinctly two different flavors. And that's really rare because normally when you drink a tea, it's all like, it's all one flavor and it mixes all well. But this one, it's really interesting. So because of me, you're going to IHOP. Hey, don't blame me. Well, actually, you can blame me because I've been a bad influence on your diet for years. So you're going to IHOP tonight? Go for it. You're, what, 2 hours ahead of us, right? So you still have time. You're 1 or 2 hours, so it's probably like 6 o'clock there. Go for it. You think the cardamom is what makes the space? You know, possibly. That probably might explain it. Because the cardamom has a bit of a kick, and it's like you have the straight line of the maple, then you have the pop of the cardamom, and then you have the straight line of the oolong. So you have a distinct space in between. And it's interesting because it's like the full spectrum. You know what? I'm gonna test that theory. I'm gonna see if I can identify that space in between. which I've never done before. I've never even considered doing that because I mean, a taste like that is so rare that you don't really get one. Hmm. It's hard to describe. Well, that's awesome that they're open up all night because I could go for some IHOP really close. We have a diner here that closes at 4 o'clock, but they have like really great breakfast. They open up like at 6 in the morning. I go on occasion, but yeah, I'd like to go for it if they were open at midnight. Like midnight pancakes are the best. Um, but like I'm saying, it's hard to describe because you have the earthiness of the tea up front. Then you have towards the middle back is the maple, and like right in between, um, that's where the space is. You have the ground here, the sweet here, and right in here is where that mystery space is coming. I know it's kind of abstract to describe. I mean, the only thing that I can do is recommend that you get this yourself to experience, and you have to like look for it. But trust me, it's there. The golden nugget. I actually would do the golden nugget. As a matter of fact, I have done the golden nugget at 1 in the morning. I haven't done that in a while. I did that last summer. Well, not even last summer. Last spring, I want to say. Like around early to mid June, I want to say. But yeah, midnight pancakes are the best. Anyway, like I was saying, so the taste is really abstract to describe, but I'm really intrigued by it, and it's very rare that I find myself with a little bit of a mystery when you're drinking it and you're really analyzing everything that's going on. Oh, excuse me. Now, the more you drink it, like I'm finding it a little bit difficult. You know what? I don't know why I'm not doing this, but I have my wheel out, my wheel O taste buds. This has become like a really handy tool. Okay, so we'll go with sweet. Start with the maple part. It's got a little bit of cocoa, not too much. It's a little bit of a chocolate flavor. A little bit buttery, tiny bit. Caramelized sugar. I think that is the main sweetness of the maple. It tastes kind of like a caramelized sugar. A bit of vanilla too, actually. Now let's see what the earthy is. The earthy, well, they have the best way to describe it. Yeah, I mean, I guess the only way to describe it is like earth. That's the best one here because they don't have a whole lot of descriptions that would really be accurate. Let me see if I can find that middle ground. Demi, welcome. The middle ground, I would say a little bit, I guess, is spicy. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing here that would describe it, but more like it just says cardamom or cinnamon. And I think that it's those two together that is taking up the space between the sweet and the earth. And it makes for a really interesting transition. It's actually a transition, I guess would be the best description, but the transition is within your mouth itself. So this is turning out to be more interesting than I first realized. Because, like I said, I have had a sample before, but I didn't really analyze it. When you're at the store, you drink, you're like, oh, that's good. It tastes like maple. But this time, now that you have the time and you have the consideration and you're thinking about what it is you're tasting, you realize that there's more to it than meets the tongue. And I just think that makes for an even more interesting stream when you're discovering things about it as you drink. So, as I drink. Yummy. The Space Between Us, I've never seen that movie. I don't think I've ever heard of it, really. It sounds kind of familiar-ish, but I don't know. It sounds familiar. As I'm drinking this, it's starting to cool off, and it's tasting a bit like it's starting to close the gap a little bit. Like the earthiness and the maple are starting to taste like it's more mixed together. Which I guess is natural because as things cool, they taste more. That's why we prefer the iced teas to be sweet teas, because if it's generally an earthy tea, like a black tea, without the sugar, you get that earthy flavor. You get even more of it. What is it? It reminds you of a DMB song. I don't know who DMB is, but if there's a U in there, I know a couple things that would describe it. I will do my best to check it out. I'll look it up, see what I can find. But yeah, I mean, The Space Between Us sounds interesting. So we'll go for another swig. Kara, welcome. We haven't seen you in a while. I'm sure that the maple flavor is what drew you in, because I know you're a sweet tooth. Yes, thanks for reminding me. Oh, Dave Matthews Band, so you came in just specifically for the trivia. Got it. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys what this looks like. Now you see the color has not changed very much. The apple pieces are more profound, which is usually what you find whenever you have apple pieces in a tea. Like, I've noticed that it always turns brighter and yellower. And I find that interesting. It's probably because it's a dehydrated fruit, and once it's dehydrated, it starts to rehydrate along with the surrounding tea. So you get kind of I'm just making it worse. You get kind of like the infusion of the water as well as the tea leaves that's surrounding it and all of the ingredients. So you see that it not only turns... I'm dripping, I just noticed. I'm making a mess. Let me fix that up a little bit. Hopefully that'll... It's probably from me touching it and pushing the water out. Oh, I'm going to have to clean that. Anyway, but you see, it's expanded a lot. When I first put it through, it was right about here. Now, I love a good helping of tea, but this has been a pretty significant change in size. Angel, welcome. What's up? And to respond, Kara, yeah, I absolutely do know you. After what, like 10, 12 years? I should. Otherwise, I'd be some sort of insensitive jerk that doesn't listen to your needs. Getting all dramatic. Ooh, and I gotta wipe that up before it gets sticky. I know what you guys are thinking, dirty. I didn't even have to look up. I know you. I got your number. Hey, what's up? I'm glad you stopped by, dude, because this tea has your name written all over it. It's basically pancakes. I got pancake tea. Oh, I know. Because I know you too after 12, 13 years. 14. Give or take. I don't know. But yeah, after about 14 years. Oh, that's so good. Now this is moderately caffeinated, so it's caffeine. It really doesn't affect me too much, thankfully, unless I drink it in high qualities and I get jittery. I haven't had too much caffeine today, so I'm feeling pretty good. And it's not even the depth of caffeine that you get from a cup of coffee. They say that caffeine from coffee is different from caffeine from tea. Caffeine from coffee has more of a jittery, gotta have more kind of energy to it. Generally tea, when you get caffeine highs, it's slightly jittery, but more energetic. You feel more awake and alert. I drink it at work first thing in the morning, and it does great. Have fun at work, Angel. Enjoy it. The caffeine buzz that you get from tea, it helps you. It helps me concentrate. It doesn't necessarily wake me up, but I think that that's just because caffeine doesn't have that kind of effect on me. I just become more aware of how tired I am. So it's a catch-22. But you know what? What you gonna do? Old age happens. Well, that slurp didn't go as planned. It was like it couldn't decide whether or not it wanted to slurp or not. But it's now that it's cooler off, I get that that well-rounded flavor, and it's starting to mix better. Like now that it's not hot, you don't get two distinct flavors. That gap is starting to close up a bit. And like you still get the kick from the cinnamon and the cardamom, but it's not so it doesn't stick out as much. So my computer fell asleep. I don't know, for some reason it's been going to sleep pretty quickly lately. Too bad I can't do the same. But what can I say? It's the curse we all live with sometimes. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, open up the floor. You guys have any questions, anything you want to throw out at me, go right ahead. I already know what you're going to ask, Teresa, if you're still here. What food would I pair this with? And I think it's fairly obvious. This would go well with steak. No, I'm just kidding. Pancakes, sausage, eggs, bacon, breakfast. This is a breakfast tea. Canadian breakfast. They should change the name. They have English breakfast, Scottish breakfast, Irish breakfast, and now Canadian breakfast tea. I'm coining that. I actually like that idea. I think, you know what? I'm gonna see if I can add that to my own blend, because I want a blend that tastes like syrup and something else, and I'm gonna call it Canadian breakfast tea. And if there's anybody out there who's watching from Canada, you guys are the bomb. You make some great syrup. So Anyway, okay, I'm gonna see if it's on their list. Okay, it should be under oolongs, maybe. No, it's not there. I don't see it. That's kind of sad. Oh, well, maybe one day in the future they'll put it in there, and I'll make my own Canadian breakfast tea. So what's that? Stroop waffles? I don't know what that is, but it sounds delicious. Super Trooper waffles. Okay, guys, throw it at me. Is it underflavored? I looked underflavored. I didn't see it. Was it your mom made you constant comment tea? What's constant comment tea? I have no idea, but I've never heard of that before. I'm looking. Yeah, it's not under flavors either. Yeah. It's not under oolong, it's not under flavors. Was that? Yeah. Well, there goes my dream of making Canadian breakfast tea. I still love the name though. Oh, it's a brand found at the grocery store. Okay, I thought it was just like a flavor. Cuz I don't know what constant comment tea. It just sounds like it's being judgmental. You know, it's like I can't believe you're drinking coffee. Do a search. What do you mean? Do a search. Do a search of. Of the constant comment. I thought you meant. Sorry, the Stroop waffles. Stroop waffles. I'll do a search. You see, you're throwing this stuff at me like in segments. You gotta give me time to process. The Stroop waffles. It sounds German. I'm gonna go with German on this one. Ooh, I choked a little bit. And you guys, my cough is gone. I don't know if anybody realized that, but I haven't coughed this entire time. I'm healed. The Adagio website for Oolong. No, I know it's on the website. I'm talking about when you create a blend. It's not on the list where you can create it and mix it with anything else. That's what I'm talking about. And I just realized something. It's possible that instead of the cardamom and the cinnamon, that gap in between is the cream. Because you have the flavor of the maple. And then you have in the middle, it's got a little bit of a kick, but that kick might be brought out more because it stands out with the cream flavor. It's possible. You said the creator named it that because he received so many comments about his tea. When he was asked what the tea was named, he said constant comment. That okay? Well, I can see, I can see that. Like I think it kind of pokes fun at the people, and yeah, I would do the same thing. Stroopwafel is Dutch. Well, that's good to know. I still don't know what it means, but I'll have to Google it later. Stroopwafel. I kind of like it though. Like the name of it. It sounds awesome. Mm. I'm thinking. I'm thinking that space really is the cream. But it's so slight. It's so slight that it's hard to pinpoint. Because the cream with the little bit of cardamom and the cinnamon, it's like it mixes pretty well. I'm gonna change my previous answer from cardamom and cinnamon to the cream flavor, because that would in fact, well, that would in fact make it 3 distinct flavors. Because you don't really think of the space in between as a flavor, but when you sit there and you contemplate and you think about what it is that's in your mouth, you have the maple syrup here, the cream here, and the earthy here. And you have that entire line of flavor. Makes it very interesting. Oh yeah, absolutely. It does change the flavor as it cools. That's a general rule about tea though, that the more you drink it, you let it cool, the more you get out of it. And I'm all for it, because who wants a tea that just stays the same, And I even find that when I brew it here and I brew it at work, there's actually a difference in flavor there, because I'm using 2 different types of machines that heat the water. This one is more accurate. The one at work, it's just straight out hot water. It's not tempered by any control. So when I steep tea, it's just hot. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. As far as giving a good flavor, you have to really know what you're doing sometimes, because it's really easy to oversteep a tea when the water is too hot. So yeah, I think that oh yeah, absolutely, change of the water itself. It does. As a matter of fact, that's why there is an English breakfast, an Irish breakfast, and a Scottish breakfast. I'm not sure if I mentioned this in any of the previous streams, but all 3 leaves are processed according to the water that's in the area. So you have English water, which is the lightest. Then you have Irish breakfast, which is a bit heavier, and then Scottish breakfast, which is the heaviest of the 3. So the leaves are processed to be stronger as the water gets stronger. Water may have chemicals or a softener, which makes a difference. Oh yeah, absolutely. That's why it also depends on the region. When I talk about making teas at home, at work, in the Chicago general area, it's all coming from the same source. You get the water being processed from Lake Michigan. But when I was in New York, I noticed that teas tasted slightly different, because it's a different water source. I haven't really had tea anywhere else. Well, I did have iced tea in Florida. I brought some with me, and even then, I had made it iced, but it was still slightly different. So yeah, there is definitely a difference in flavors as you move from region to region. And I'm hoping one of these days that I become a world traveler. I'll go to England and have some tea there and see if the water makes a difference and what that difference is. Maybe one day I'll hit up India and do the same thing. I'll do the same thing wherever I can go and taste the different water. That's going to be awesome, except Mexico. Mexico, I hear all about Montezuma's revenge, and even my sister, poor thing, she experienced a little bit, and yeah, I do not want to have that happen to me. So yeah, I'm going to abstain from the water there. But other than that, I'll definitely have to research the water everywhere else to see what's going on. Oh, I do. I absolutely do trust you. That's the thing, though. That's why, like, I want to see what those differences are. Maybe I just phrased it wrong, but yeah, I absolutely, I'm with you 100%. Like, the tea does taste different according to the water. Oh, I'm almost down to the end of the first cup. I still have to top myself off. Oh yeah, absolutely. I know that the water tastes different in different countries, and I think that that's also very interesting. Because I mean, they say the same thing like when you make bagels, there's nothing like a New York bagel because there's nowhere else like New York water. So that's the kind of thing that I look forward to when I go back to New York. It's the minor differences like that make it so distinct. If I go to England, I better like black tea. Oh, you already know I like black tea. I'm still working on the ones that you had gotten me, or that your parents had gotten me from England, and it's really good. Like, I have to admit, I don't like tea bags very often, but this is really different from the tea bags that I used to drink. You know, it's definitely not Lipton. All right, I'm gonna top myself off. There we go. There's that golden brown flavor. I mean, color. There we go. It's kind of disappointing. I only have half a cup now. I was hoping for a full cup, but that's just me being a glutton. And it's cooled off quite a bit, too. I think that I spent way too much time talking in between. Normally, I'd be almost done by now. What is I'm 48 minutes in. So yeah, usually at this point, I'm further I'm further along in my tea drinking. But this is a good thing. You know, the more that I talk, the more that I experience, the more relatable it is. You know, the more that I can share information, and I think that that's the best part of the whole process, is just sharing my experience with you guys and making it as true and accurate as I possibly can. And it helps a lot when you guys are talking and contributing, because it just keeps me going. No, I didn't light my candle. I don't think that the candle, I mean not the candle, the tea warmer is good for this pot, because the legs are slightly farther apart than the circumference of the warmer. So it's kind of like all the legs are slightly off, and it's a bit of a balancing act. So I use it for my porcelain one all the time. The only time I've ever used it was that one on the cast iron one. Was on the stream, and I was like, yeah, I just don't like to play a balancing act with hot water. So sorry, I think maybe one of these days I'll just do the porcelain one instead, and I'll turn it on and let it go. And let me tell you, that thing makes a difference. Like this one time I made tea, and I put the teapot on the warmer, and I completely forgot about it for about 2.5, 3 hours. Like I got caught up in doing something. I don't even remember. And then I look over and I'm like, oh wait, my tea is still there. And I'm telling you, it was piping hot. That tea warmer is handy. Like, I never forget my tea. That was the one and only time I did. And after I did, I was like, wow, this is definitely a keeper. So it was still, like, the steam was still coming out of the spout. I highly recommend getting one. If you're ever, like, gonna put the tea on, and you leave the house for about 3-4 hours, come back, it's still good. You are good to go. As long as the as long as the tea light keeps going. I still have the same candle in there, so it looks like it'll last quite a bit. The last tea candle that I went all the way through was it lasted through three or four teapots. And there's still a little bit of wax left. What I want to do, I'm going to show you how much wax is left after the, oh, that glare. There we go. After the wick burns out, this is how much wax is left. And you see that that was the bottom of the wick right here. But you can tell there's a lot of wax here. So what I want to do eventually is I want to collect these, crumble them up, put them in a jar, and then heat the jar and wind up making a candle of my own. So if any of you have a little tiny jar that you want to get rid of, I'll take it. I'll make my own candle. I don't mind. Recycle. It's good for the environment. I don't know what kind of environmental impact wax has, but I'm still going to use it. So by all means. Okay guys, opening up the floor again. I still have about, looks like a quarter of the cup. Maybe a little bit more. So, I'm going. And the caffeine is starting to, well, it's not starting to kick in, but it's like I'm more aware of how much tea there is in my cup. Because if there was anything that I would have to be thinking about right now, it's that. Of all the useless information that's in my head, I'm now aware of how much useless information is in my head. Okay, I'm just being silly at this point. Anyway, guys, throw it at me. What you got? Oh, this is so good. Like I'm starting to feel that stuffed feeling that I always get during these streams. I have to admit I did eat a little bit of a big dinner before starting here, so I'm kind of feeling it. But yeah, this is a really good feeling. I'm probably not going to get to sleep very easily tonight, though, because the caffeine has wakened my head. But I don't mind. You know, I mean, it's Saturday night. I can sleep late tomorrow if I need to. So it's all right. This is definitely a breakfast tea, though. I have not tried any of the Christmas fandom blends. I didn't buy them yet. And look at how bad I am. Oh, no, don't fall. Okay, that was a bad idea. But, this thing is falling over. Sorry. There we go. Oh, don't fall. Okay. But look at how bad I am. I still got the Halloween blend. I haven't even opened them yet. Like I bought it at the end of the season, and I haven't even opened it. So I'm going to do it eventually. I don't think I'll be doing it as a stream, because that's 6 teas in there, and that's gonna take a lot of time. So I'll just leave it as is. I'll bring it to work one day, go through it. It'll probably be done in a week, because each of those has about 2 or 3 cups, and yeah, that's so easy, especially because I give so much away that people love it. So I'm making more tea-cyples. What did I eat? I went to Burger King. My general eating habit on a Friday night, because I get home and who wants to cook? That's a marathon. You're absolutely right. It is a marathon. Only problem is I'm gonna have to. I don't think I can brew 6 cups. I don't even have 6 cups here. Well, actually, technically I do, because I have the 4 little teacups, and I have 2 mugs. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if I can brew 6 separate pots, because that's gonna be the problem. Yeah, I'm gonna have to like borrow yours and Nicole's ingenuity, and we'll figure something out, because it's gonna be out of control. And then we would still need one more. No, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I have my ingenuity 2. Yeah, it's probably a lot more work than it's worth. So I'm just gonna leave it as is. Drink this on my own time. Go through it, and be like, peace out. Yeah, you can definitely tell the difference in the flavor before I mixed the stevia in, and after. Like, oh, you have 3? Well, then we might be able to pull it off. I don't know. We'll see. If we ever do the tea stream from your house, we'll boil a ton of water, do all 6. That's not, okay. We'll talk about it. that might actually end up as something interesting. So we'll see. But for a later date. No spoilers, no promises, because we don't know if this can actually be pulled off. But we'll see. So, you guys have any questions for me? Anything you want to know? While I finish off, I still have about 2 or 3 sips left. I'm going to talk a little bit about what's coming up. Unfortunately, next week I'm not going to be able to do a stream, because the company Christmas party is there, and I've got to go because people want me there. And I really enjoy the company party, so I'm gonna give myself a little break. But the week after, I'm going to have something really special for you guys. Not only am I going to do the butterfly tea, that's the one that everybody has been dying for me to do, the one that changes color, but I'm gonna have a special guest help me out. I'm not gonna say who it is. I'm still working it out, but if all things go well, you guys are gonna want to see this, because I'm just gonna say you're gonna want to see it. So everybody that's not here today, mark your calendar. It's going to be I believe the 15th. Let me see. Yeah, it's going to be the 15th of December. That's going to be my next stream. And I'm going to have a special, well, hopefully, fingers crossed. I think I'm about 90% sure that I'll have a special guest. But once it's all finalized, you're going to want to see this. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and top myself off. Go ahead, throw it at me, whatever you got. I'm going to mix the sugar a little bit better. I love that smell. I really, really love that smell. Because it's my room still smells like syrup. And the funny thing is, like, you know how when you smell something for an extended amount of time, you kind of don't smell it for a while. Like, after a while, you just don't smell it anymore. That is not true for this, and it's already been like a little over an hour, and that smell is still going strong. So yeah, I am definitely in heaven. It's actually stronger than my plugin, and that's saying something. And I have like so little left too. I think it's like whatever's in the air is really what's doing it. Ah, I dribbled. You see, I have a drinking problem. I can't keep it all in my mouth. Okay, anyway. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up here. Yeah, I did finish it. I just wanted to make sure. I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up a little bit. Thank you guys for showing up and keeping me going, because you guys are my inspiration. And tune in again on the 15th. I'm going to pull out something special, as I always try to do. And you guys, thanks so much for stopping in. And have a great night and a wonderful weekend. Bye.